What is up, guys? And today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Irelia. Right, so first things first, start of the game. First items you want to buy: corrupting potion, and of course your standard ward. Now, a ward, if you forget to buy, will automatically appear in your inventory. That's a good change, right? Implemented a season ago, really, or a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, I'll be putting up the rune page on the screen right now so you can see all the runes I go. And that would be Conqueror into Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, Bone Plating, and Chrysalis. A total of 9 attack speed, percentage by the way, 15 to 135 HP based on level is what we get from the set bonus. Now, to explain all in all why these runes are really important and which runes you can change based on playstyle. Let me just turn this really quickly off. Alright, let's look at Conqueror. Conqueror, after 4 seconds in combat, your first attack against an enemy champion grants you 6 attack damage for 3 seconds, and then converts 20% of your damage to champions as true damage. Now, we all know bruisers are really broken with this rune, like Jax, Irelia. I want to say Zinzao, but Zinzao's more in the phase rush now, so it depends on playstyle. There's a lot of changes still coming and nerfs and buffs, but right now we're focused on Irelia. Right. Second, Triumph. Now Irelia fights a lot, and she has to really get to the backline, and when you're trying to get to the backline, of course you're going to be peeled off and you're going to take a lot of damage. So if you successfully get an assist or a kill, that HP you gain from the items you're already building, since Irelia goes a lot of HP, not a lot of defense, she's more of a high risk, high reward champion. I mean, not by playing the game, I mean like if you can't get that deep, of course, if you can get ahead, because we all know if Irelia falls behind and she's on your team, she's just feeding her mind off, and enemy Irelia is always beasting because your laner doesn't know how to play against them. Well, we're gonna turn you into that Irelia beast in a moment, but third rune would be Alacrity. Alacrity gives you 3% attack speed early game, which is really good in Irelia because it stacks so well with the passive. I mean, let's look at Irelia's passive first. When Irelia hits an enemy champion with an ability, she gains a stack of Ionian Fervor for 6 seconds. Her basic attacks deal 4 bonus magic damage per stack. So it stacks 4 times, right? So 4 times 4, that's 16. So you're doing... Whoops. Riot being skipped on my ass. Right, so 4 times 4, 16 damage, so you're doing 16 bonus magic damage at 4 stacks. When you add 4 stacks, you get another 30% attack speed. So you put the 3% attack speed or 30% attack speed. That's 33% attack speed level 1. Level 1, if you manage to pull off this, the start off really properly, and you deal 300% damage to shields. This is really good mid-late game for team fighting, since you're not really fighting someone top lane that has a shield. I mean, there are top laners that have shields, like the old Nautilus that was top. What else is there? There's Ornn, there's Scion, there's Urgot. So many champions that you can fight in lane with this passive, but it's all about if you can get the full stack of the passive, because it's completely useless if you're fighting with just 2 stacks or 3 stacks. You really want that 4th stack. And I'll teach you how to get the 4th stack. It's really good in the early game going, and hopefully first blood. But before we get to that, let's keep reading the runes. Last Stand. Now the reason I go Last Stand is as Irelia, when you're fighting, or any bruiser basically, you're trading back and forth and you're losing a lot of HP. And especially when you're team fighting as Irelia, you want to get to the backline, and as I said already, when you're trying to get to the backline, you're going to take a lot of damage, and you want to make sure that you get that Triumph proc. So when you're taking the damage, you'll be increasing your own damage, hopefully up until 11%. I mean, you only get the full bonus when you're at 30% health, which is most likely gonna happen when you have a full build. But yeah, it should help you get that kill. hopefully get that kill with Prey. And the second tree is just the usual bone plating and chrysalis, as we know that is the broken runes. You take 15 less damage from the next 3 spells or attacks, and it's pretty broken since you're on the enemy and you're trying to trade, and of course their brain reflexes to trade back. They don't really think about the trade. Let's see. Second, Chrysalis. You start the game with 50 HP. At 4 takedowns, you consume the health and it becomes adaptive 9 attack damage or 15 ability power. To get 4 takedowns, it's really easy on Irelia since she's such a snowbally champion. Especially if you play the lane right, you can probably 1v2 the jungle and top laner. But it's all about how you play the lane and how smart you use your lead. Let me just do this to not get AFK warning again. Ugh. Alright, so that's the runes. Now, I've seen players start Doran's Blade and take press the attack on Irelia. I mean, you can do press the attack, it's just Conqueror works so well level 1, and I'll explain why in a moment. I mean, press the attack too, but you don't really want to sit for too long on an enemy champion trying to proc the press the attack. You just want to do that true damage, since Irelia doesn't really have a lot of how do I put it? Irelia doesn't have a really damagey build. I mean, a lot of people's gonna say, what do you mean? Irelia goes Trinity Force, Terax, etc. Some go Blade the Rune King. I mean, sure you can do that, but when you're fighting tanks, which you're gonna be fighting a lot top lane, you really want that Conqueror to do the true damage. And it just works so well with the passive and Corrupted Potion level 1. So let's get into that. Let's go over here. Spawn a dummy right here. Right, so level 1. Irelia's Q, Blade Surge. You always want to start this ability. Unless you're getting cooked or cheesed or something, then you start E. Let's say you're red team, right? And enemy has a Blitzcrank, and you know he's gonna come over here, right? So you drop a ward here, you stay over here. You don't level up anything yet, but let's say the enemy Blitzcrank pops up with his team over here. They're all just waiting for some reason. Let's say you move around, you come over here. You can easily just use your E like this. And level 1, you just basically won a team fight for your team. But that's rarely the case, so you never want to start E. You always want to save that Q for lane. Right, so let me show you how the matchup should go. Spawn minions. Fast forward just 30 seconds until they get to the lane. Alright, good. Nasus should be coming up here. Alright, so this is level 1. Level 1, you want to get the first 3 minions level, and I'll explain why. Alright, you see on the debuff bar, I have 1 stack so far, and that makes it 2 stacks. So basically, you just want to kill the first 3 minions with your Q, and then you pop Corrupting, Q the enemy champion, and then you get the full passive of Conqueror. Basically, you just get first blood like that. Most of the times, it won't be first blood. I mean, a lot of unskilled laners that don't play against Irelia a lot, they will try and trade with you, and then when they realize, oh fuck, I'm losing, they will flash away. And when they do flash away, that's good for you. You back off, you get your level 2. Yeah, let's say he's over there. You can take your E second, Q to the minion, E him, easy. I mean, I messed up here. I didn't kill the minion with Q or Q it while it died. Which is also another fun thing, like as Irelia, which should get fixed if you ask me. When a minion dies and you Q it like this, and you don't get the gold, your Q still resets. What is this Nasus bot doing? Interesting. But yeah, Conqueror really broken. You see what Nasus bot? Glacial Shroud. A lot of players do this simple mistake. They rush armor against Irelia, well, against Conqueror Irelia. They don't think about what she does. I mean, if you ask me, some reasonable boots into Irelia would be Merc Treads, and I'll explain why. First off, the magic damage Irelia does. You can deprive that magic damage since she does a lot of mixed damage, and topping it off with 2 damage, it's really a lot of damage. I said damage too much there. Anyway, the reason we start Q level 1, as I told you, we kill the first 3 minions with Q. We have 3 stacks. We Q the enemy champion, makes it 4 stacks, which gives us that 30% attack speed plus that extra 3% that we start off with. And even if they have a shield, we're doing 300% damage to it. So as soon as I procced shield level 1 auto, it's gone. Shield is gone. You just keep fighting them until they flash away. You back off. You don't flash after them. I mean, you can flash after them if you're confident that you can kill them. Most of the times you just want to save your flash, because Irelia is really vulnerable to a gank unless you know how to set up your blades. Other than that, yeah, level 1, it's easy for you. I mean, level 2 is also easy since you can just do this simple mechanic where you just turn these on, turn that off, get that minion low. You can simply just put an E down, Q to the minion, and E again, and that will mark the enemy. I mean, depending on if you... okay, no, 16 yellow. Depending if you land the E, let's explain that really quick. So Aurelia's E, it's basically 2 blades she places down. Flawless duet. It takes 4 seconds for the once you put down the first blade to recast it and put down a second blade, which will cause a line between the two and stun and mark all targets between. Oh, what the fuck is Nasus doing?
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Alright, let's get back into it. Right, so the two blades, they make a line when you connect them. Well, when you place both down, and they mark and stun enemies in the line. This is really good for when you're trading. Let's say someone's actually trading with you. You can throw down the blade, which automatically for them will start making them try and dodge you. Which most of the cases people will cancel autos or path weirdly, which you can keep abusing. You can force them off of you really, because once they take that E, you get a free Q on them, which is a lot of damage considering that you'll have Conqueror up. So it's auto Q and then boom, done, 1. Right, so level 3, of course, you're doing your W, flawless duet. I mean, not flawless duet. Whoops, that's your E. Brain lag. Defiant Dance. Now, depending on what you're playing with, if you're playing on Smart Cast, you gotta hold it down. If you're playing on normal cast, you just tap it once, and then you have to tap it again to release. Right, so let's basically explain what the ability does. For a short while, not for a short while, it's pretty damn long. You take 50% damage reduction. 50% damage reduction. Which increases with ability power. And we don't really do an ability power build on Irelia. I mean, you can go Gwinsus later on in the game if you really want some damage reduction, but the build you'll be going is already enough. Yeah, so it's not really a damaging ability. It's not worth relying on, other than this ability can actually help you in lane if you're trying to get close to the enemy champion. Since, let's say, I can't kill this minion with my Q, so I have to W it and then Q to it, and then I can mark the enemy champion with my E. So that's one mechanic your W can be used for, to burst the backline. Always remember this: the backline minions, the casters, are the most vulnerable to Aurelia's Q. I mean, they're the squishiest minion in the game. You should know this by general, but they are the priority for Irelia, especially once you get Tiamat, which we'll get to in a moment. You gotta get it. You gotta. It's really important. Anyway, so that's the first 3 abilities. By then you'll already have enough gold to back, and the first item we'll get, like I just said, would be Tiamat. Now the reason I go Tiamat is like simple. Well, it's simple, but people rush Sheens on Irelia to kill the backline minion. But why do you need to do that when hold on, let's respawn the minions. And skip ahead so that you refresh your lane. Alright. So you got Tiamat, right? You get back to lane. Every auto cleaves the next minions. So if you start charging up your Q, you're gonna be cleaving more and more minions, and then eventually you'll be able to just Q the entire wave like that, as you wish. So if you're fighting an enemy champion around minions, you can basically use the minions, well, the cleave of the Tiamat, to bounce around and kite out the enemy champion. Like, let's say you're fighting him. This is a minion. So I'm fighting him. I put a blade down. I Q to the minion. I put another blade down. I go back to him. Well, let me refresh the cooldowns here quickly. So we're fighting this dude, right? He's fighting us back. Put on the thing. Q to the minion. Put on another one. Q to him. And we're fighting him back. Right. By this time you'll already be level 6. Right, this is where the fun comes in. This is where Irelia starts to shine. An insane power spike. Right. Her ult, Vanguard's Edge. She releases blades in a line in front of her, and upon connecting with the first champion it hits, it will start to form a field. Now this field, a lot of people don't know this, can be used as a CC if aimed right. It can displace champions, it can disarm champions, it can zone champions, it can do a lot of things for just a simple spell like that. First off, you do not want to miss it. Another thing is that this spell can, let's see if we can find the scuttle crab. Where's the scuttle crab? Alright, let's go here to the scuttle crab. Your ult, when it passes through a large monster or an epic monster, it will mark them, but it won't make a field. So let's say you don't have your E, but you want to catch up to an enemy champion, you can use the scuttle to reset your Q. But most of the times you will have your E, or you'll just have your normal Q to catch up to them. Yeah, that's just one tip. Alright, so let's look at Aurelia's ult on the champion. First thing that's gonna happen, it's gonna hit here, and it's gonna spread out a line all the way down here. And it's gonna knock this target dummy either here, out, over here, or like, let me just mark this. Give me a second. Alright, so you should be able to see my cursor now that I put it on. Right, once we ulti this target, we shoot it out. One of two things can happen. It can spread out, mark this target, and pull him into the ult, or it will push him out of the ult, or him as well. So let's find out. Yeah, as you can see, he got displaced to the side, and as well as him, which is really hard to do in teamfights since you don't think that fast. But that displacement is really strong, especially if you're suddenly jumped, especially. Now, a lot of the times when you ult like this, you really want all of them inside of your little prison thing, especially if you want all 3 targets hit. Which is really hard. Easy, but let's say that the enemy is like this. Right. Optimal thing is to hit them in the middle. He wasn't hit. Now, since Aurelia's ult starts spreading out from the first champion, let me just turn these off. Kinda sucks in that terms. As you can see, you can't hit him. But Irelia can use her flash while using her ult. So let's say I want to ult down here, but I can flash up here. Pushes him out, marks him. And it's basically that simple. Right, next step, you want to mark all of them. And this is going to be really risky. The one way you could do this is flashing over here and ulting down. So let's do that. Ult flash. Right, I couldn't hit all of them. That failed, but most of them. But you get my point. Aurelia's ult can be really effective when used really wisely, especially for displacing and disarming. Now, probably a lot of you are shocked that Aurelia's ult displaces, or some of you already knew this. Took me like 20 games of Aurelia to realize that it displaced. I was, I think, against Kaisa, and she was against the wall. I ultied the Leona, it pushed Kaisa into the wall and then forcefully disarmed her, which was actually insane. I don't think it's intentional, but I don't know. Let's see here. Forces him into the wall and disarms him. That is pretty dank, if you ask me. Anyway, let's move on from the ult. I spent too much time on it. I'm sorry. Let's go into the item build. Right. So item build. First item, you want to get Tiamat. You don't want to complete Tiamat yet. You want to complete your Trinity Force. Now, first items you'll get from Trinity Force, you want to get Sheen into Stinger, into Phage, and then complete the Trinity Force. Reason we go Stinger, attack speed all the way. Attack speed is so fucking good on Aurelia because of the Conqueror and the magic damage. Is just magnif. Anyway, that was probably cringe. I'm so sorry. Next item. Of course, you by then you would have already finished boots. So let's say you're against a strong 80 champion or a full 80 comp. Ninja Tab is the usual item against a strong auto attack 80 comp because you block 12% of damage, basic attack damage, which is really good. But I will almost always go Mercury Treads in Aurelia to either avoid slows, stuns, fears, silences. Because if you get silenced on Aurelia in a team fight by like a Fiddlesticks or something, you're done, you're dead. You can't gap close, you can't stun, you can't ult, you can't W. Actually, I think, no, Aurelia can't W when feared. She can't W just before the fear hits to stay on the same spot since she stays put on the ground even though the CC is on her. That basically works with any other CC. Let's say Darius pulls you while you're in W, you'll stay in W, but you'll reposition to him. What next? Next item we will be going, since we completed Trinity Force, this is completely up to you. You can either complete Sterex, which helps you if you're in a team fight. You're getting really low. You're probably tower diving. Let's turn tower fire. Like Sterex pops, you get that extra shield, that extra oomph, as I would call it, and it's just really good on her. But if you're really ahead, you want more damage, you just wanna whip ass, you can go Titanic Hydra second. The ultimate homeland protection. You heard it here first. Right, so when you have Titanic Hydra, you can activate it and Q to apply it, which is so much damage. Also, one thing to note, when using Aurelia's Q, you have no auto attack on, but once you Q something, Aurelia will automatically start focusing them with auto attack, even if you have your auto attack off. That's just how it is. So you don't gotta spam click the moment you Q someone, or this is gonna happen. Like, you'll Q them, you'll walk around and then miss 3,000 autos that you could have gotten in. So to counter this with any champion, simply by pressing A, you'll open up your attack range. Just basically shows your attack range and gives you a little target with your cursor, and when you left click, your champion will move to the target location and attack any champion close to your cursor. It just helps you, instead of panic clicking, you can just easily focus. And that's how you avoid panic clicking and misclicking and canceling 3000 autos, which is really bad since you don't want to cancel autos. You want to get your damage in, you want to do the damage, you want to kill, etc. Right, so Sterix on top of Titanic Hydra. These are core items. Titanic Hydra, Sterix, and Trinity Force. You will have to build this always because it just is so good. Makes you beefy, makes you tanky, gives you a lot of DPS. You basically don't need to go any other 80 item after this, unless you want to, because you got the Conqueror, right? Conqueror just deals so much true damage. Let's see how much true damage we can do. We'll restart the game. We'll go over here. We'll prevent the minions from spawning. Put enemy champions over here. Double rework. Oh fuck, I forgot to add gold. Level up all the way to 18. Put points to everything. Right, so that's the core items, right? Let's first get our passive going. Right, there we go. We got our passive up. Whoopsie daisy. Let's get my passive back up. So, use an enemy champion. Rock Conqueror. Let's pretend that we are hitting minions. Now we go start hitting. Look at how much true damage we're starting to dish out. It's sticking up right over there. In just a few autos, we did already 1k true damage. 1k true damage. Ask me, that's a lot of true damage. And that's why Conqueror will remain the best rune on Irelia. But anyway, let's say you're building up your passive, right? And you don't want to lose your stacks. Using your W and hitting nothing with it will give you a free stack, since it says there, which is a good way of holding onto your passive before a fight or whatever. But at the same time, you just don't want to use your W that recklessly. This is the most obvious Irelia combo. First off, I'm gonna start by saying, when on Irelia you can't E, and then Q. Your Q won't reset. Wait, that's because, like, watch this. E, Q, while the E is still going off, it won't reset. However, if you Alt and Q at the same time, your Q will reset, depending on if you hit a champion or not. If you hit a champion and you mark it, it will reset like this. Same thing applies to a monster. If you hit a monster and with Alt and Q at the same time, your Q refreshes. So let's say, let's get the Scuttle Crab going to the bot side. Come on, Scuttle, what you doing?
I don't think you have any idea how fast I really am. I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Alright, let's get it. Let's say, here's the enemy champion. Scuttle Crab's leaving me 2 of them. That's basically it. The rest of Irelia's items it's your choice. If you want Flamethrower King for more damage, which you really don't need unless you have pressed the attack for some reason. If the enemy team has a Cho'Gath, you can go. If you want lifesteal, you can do it, but remember your Q heals you. So that's why if you're fighting an enemy champion in the middle of the lane, you want to Q to the low minions. You'll gain some HP back, which really helps you bounce around the fight and dodge skill shots if your enemy laner has a skill shot. And we all know that if you're against a really mobile champion, you start to tilt by how fast they're moving around. You can go Spirit Visage, boost his healing. You also boost the healing from Triumph. And the last item, since you go against ADCs, you can go Randuin's Omen. Or you can go, say, GA. You can do GA, but once it procs, and you have gold, you can get you something else. One thing I have done before, I got me a Zanya's, and I found out that this was pretty an odd item to go. Like, it's odd to go, but as odd as it works in a way. So let's say you somehow just fuck up your Q in a team fight, you can just ult. You can just Zhonya's. And you come out as Zhonya's, you activate W. A lot of the time you'll get focused, so you can just ult Zhonya's. And then once you come out as Zhonya's, you see your marks. Easy peasy. You can also E onto a target, like that, Zhonya's, and once you come out, you just alt Q. And yeah, that's some tips and tricks. Although Zhonya's is probably gonna get you reported, so don't do it. Rather stick to getting you something that's gonna make you beefier, rather than something that's gonna get you reported for trolling, quote unquote. But yeah, that's my tip on Irelia. I hope this helped you. Yeah, if you struggle in any way, leave a comment down below. If you like the video, like it. If you want to see me do another guide on a different champion, just comment it down below. And that's about it. I'll see you in the next video. Deuces!